Everybody, season 1, 2, and welcome to another 1 point discussion. Today we're going to talk about, and for the next 5 days, we're going to talk about one of the longest one of the longest episodes of any series. And I still think, to this day, they should have shortened it. And that is the end of Flutter Valley. Now, I'm going to be doing this in 5 parts. We'll be doing 2 parts today, 2 parts tomorrow, 2 parts Friday, 2 parts Saturday, and 2 parts Sunday. So let's get started with part one of In the Flood Valley. As the episode it opens, we see the ponies getting ready to go to Flood Valley. Now, obviously, they have a pony named Surprise, and she is just bouncing around as he goes up and scares Baby Cuddles, one of the ponies I'll talk about in a later episode. So the reason why they go in there is because there's a celebration going on. Now the celebration is because, obviously they help the ponies, defeat the witches. Speaking of the witches, guess who is in this 10-part episode? And who are the focus? We're on the villains of this well, one of the main villains. The witches themselves. So they're looking into hideous lava pool and trying to figure out how to get back at them. So Hideo tells them to go out and mess with their party. How? Well, they ask the same thing. They're witches, so obviously they need to use spells. So we get back to the ponies, and they're going to Flutter Valley. And on the way, the witches, Rika, um, cast a spell on on a flower, but make it into makes it into a lasso. They capture them. However, the Philippines, knowing that they haven't gotten there yet, looking for them. So they see them being um, surrounded by them, being captured by them, and they decide to make well flowers. So they decide, and so when they get to Florida Valley, Willis does the Freedom Flood Police decides it tells them it's on Tuesday and they sing for the sun. So, oh, by the way, there is a funny gag, and I forgot to talk about this. It's a running gag in the movie and this 10-part episode where Rika and Drago keep calling Hydia Mama, which she does not like. Guess it's because they're a bunch of bubbly idiots. And at one point, they fall off, and she falls off too. I'm just thinking, that's what she's doing. Anyway, so Rika and Drago decide that it's time to get rid of the Sunstone. So Drago looks for a landslide. The landslide happens, and the Sunstone starts falling. That's the end of part one. Part two is they, where they continue where they left off, and the thing for the multiple parts. Sometimes in series we would see one part 1 week, and then the next part and next. But with this series, um, there was actually a side cartoon, by the way, in the series, though, and I can't find any of it, any of the videos of it. But there was Rainbow Bright, There was um, Potato had kids. Let's see, I think uh, glow worms. There was a bunch of them. So anyway, so the landslide continues, but then turns into a mess and starts fleeing in it. And Rika, Drago, yeah, Rika, Drago says, "We're trying to make a lead pie," and obviously she meant landslide, not a lead pie. So they basically um, go back to see Hydia, and she is happy. So you thought I hated the witches when they sang? There are multiple songs this episode that are even worse than um um the witches and I'll do the very work. Again, like I said in the last video, I don't hate all the songs that they have, but I don't like this one. And it's called Old Family. And they ask for help from the past warlocks and witches. So what do they do? What are their plans? To steal the Sunstone. And since the Sunstone, and since it's all full of flowers, yes, well, what about flowers? Well, without Sunstone, Flood Valley will become basically a wasteland. And who do they and who do you think they are going to ask? A bunch of bees, Bumble and her bees. Anyway, we go back to the little ponies who are still talking to Rose Dust, and they tell him to be careful. Of course, and they walk off. Then we go back to Rika and Draggle, who are going to go see Bumble. And they decide to get her flowers because obviously she's a bumblebee and she likes flowers. So she they decide they are captured by Bumble's bees. And by the way, she lives in a wasteland that's completely cold. And she was, um, banished from Flutter Valley because he basically took this trying to take over. We then and then they tell her what the plans are. She tells them that she hates Florida police, and they agree to help each other out. Meanwhile, we're back with the police, Spike and the Busways, by the way, Busways are in this episode. And we get to one of my least favorite characters in all of Model Pony, the Furbobs. They are cousins to the Busways. You know how they always agree, right? Well, these guys disagree a lot. And they can't decide on if they're going home or if they're getting something. But eventually, they say to me that the reason why they can't remember where the home is because they are always running away. And the reason why is because of the Stonebacks. A bunch of, I guess you could call crocodile characters that are made of rocks. So they start gnawing at the bridge, and that's the end of part two. By the way, I gotta point out one of my favorite scenes in this episode. It's when the Sunstone is about to fall. When they create a landslide. And Fraser goes, "What's going on? Earthquake? Heavy dancing?" Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we do part two of my five-part review of the end of Flutter Valley. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys next time.